Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for some more time right here in God's Word. Today I want to give a shout out to Andree Aiken from Columbus, Georgia, who recently jumped on our website, purchased a bunch of copies of our 30-day devotionals, and sent them out to men across the country. Andree, thank you so much for your support of our ministry and also your investment in the growth of other men. It's greatly appreciated. Today this is for you. Nehemiah chapter 4, verses 1 through 2. Reads, "Now when Sanballat heard that we," that is the people of God, "were building the wall, he was angry and greatly enraged, and he jeered at the Jews." Feel the anti-Semitism there? You should. "And he said in the presence of his brothers and of the army of Samaria," that's his own army, "What are these feeble Jews doing? Will they restore it for themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they finish it up in a day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of rubbish? And the burned ones at that?" Ouch. So guys, chapters 4 through 6 right here of the book of Nehemiah detail the multitude of challenges that Nehemiah is going to face and all the opposition that he encounters during the rebuilding of the wall. Now these chapters are an absolute must read for any leader who is facing adversity in his life. It's important to note here, though, that the wall's construction is going to continue through chapters 4 through 6. It only begins in chapter 3, and then actually the wall finishes up at the end of chapter 6. And the opposition Nehemiah encounters comes from three primary sources: Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem. Sanballat to the north, Tobiah to the east, and Geshem to the south. So I wanted to show you this on a map today so you can get a feel for it. First, I'm going to put up a general map of what the Persian Empire might have looked like during the time of Nehemiah. You're going to see Babylonia, the great city of Babylonia to the far east on the map. This is where Nehemiah served King Artaxerxes as a cupbearer to the king. And then he comes all the way over to Jerusalem, to this tiny little dot on the map over on the other side. Now, you're going to see Jerusalem on the west, but I want you to get a feel for what this region looked like. So now I'm going to zoom way in on this map. And here I have labeled the opposing forces for you, so you can see kind of where they're coming from. You have the northern opposition, the eastern opposition, and then the southern opposition. So the tiny dot right there, that's Jerusalem. It's a very, very small, tiny little city inside of the Persian Empire. At this time, when Nehemiah is building the wall, there are only 42,000 people living there. And they're all trying to build this 2.5-mile long wall. Keep this in mind as you think about the persecution and the ridicule and the opposition that they're about to endure from all these opposing forces inside of the Persian Empire. Now, for a moment, I want you to think about those proportions in light of the events happening in the state of Israel today. So globally, there are approximately 15 million Jews. That is a very small number. 15 million Jews. Now compare this to the Muslim population, which is a staggering 1.8 billion. Now that's quite a contrast, isn't it? In the video, I'm going to put this up on a map so you can actually see and feel it. I want you to look at this map here. You see that little green sliver right in the center? That's present-day Israel. It's green because it has a Jewish population. Now that tiny sliver right there, out of those 15 million Jews worldwide, about half of them, which is roughly 7.1 million, live in the state of Israel. Now, surrounding Israel, you're going to see large countries shaded in black. Those countries have populations that are 90 to 100% Muslim. I hope you get the picture and you see the pun that I just made at the same time. Get the picture, folks. So this brings us to a thought-provoking point about proportionality today. I mean, the sheer scale of the difference in population sizes between these regions is immense. It's a disparity that mirrors actually the challenge that Nehemiah faced during his time. Just as it was then, today's challenges are marked by similar disproportionality, which is a testament to a smaller community's resilience and enduring spirit in the face of all these overwhelming odds. So let's get back to our text, okay, before I start bloviating on this topic. Now, the first round of opposition is going to come from this guy named Sanballat, the leader from the north. And he knows that he can't interfere with Nehemiah's work because, well, he has papers and he's got permission and provisions from the king of Persia. So he's a little tied up about this whole thing. He's a little frustrated and anxious. And he's so worked up that he gets his people worked up too. He's going to use ridicule to beat them down. And the question is why? Well, because ridicule is a weapon of war, is why. Ridicule undermines people and leaders by attacking their credibility. It reinforces conformity by mocking behaviors that deviate from societal and social norms. It incites shame and embarrassment, which can have a profound emotional and psychological effect on a person. This happened to Nehemiah, and it's happening on college campuses right now, isn't it? In much of the same way. But ridicule's nothing new, fellas. It's used by governments and employers, and unions and politicians, influencers, rock stars, satirists, and even bullies at school. To me, it feels like the world is a little saturated with bullies who have resorted to a lot of bully tactics today. And guess what, brothers? This is our time. Right now in history is our time to let our belief in God shine through like it never has before. Like Nehemiah lets it shine through in his testament. It's our call to step out of the shadows of shame boldly and to hold firm and fast to the mission of God that he has set before us. We've got to be smart and strong and unshakable in the face of ridicule without losing sight of our God-given purpose in our time. And in the chapters ahead, we're going to dig into how we can rise above these challenges. We're going to dig into how people try to tear us down with their words of ridicule. In fact, tomorrow, we're going to be tackling the 5 types of attacks from those who mock what we stand for. So gear up, because we're going to stand tall together. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you. If it has, share it with someone else. And I'll see you right back here again.